Good evening. We've got a very special guest today from Japan. He's a Singaporean. He's a professor, Dr. Mani. Dr. Mani is currently the Vice President, International Admission and International Cooperation and Research at the Asia Pacific University in Japan. Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening.
Yes. It is time for us to talk about, education is the key. I strongly believe that if a country is to liberate itself from the economic downtrends, then you need to think education, and investing in education is what would basically liberate a country economically. Your particular university concentrates more on globalization.
Yes.
To have students with a global mindset,
Right.
Globally equipped to take on the challenges. Let's talk about the university that you're serving right now.
Well, our university is called the Ritsumeikan Asia Pacific University. It was set up about 13 years ago in 2000 by some of the great minds in Japan. Especially, this is a private university. So, in the private university, they contemplated for about 6 years. They felt that they must do something to the region by bringing the people of the region together and the rest of the world together. I think we can promote peace, understanding and development much better. So with that aim, about 13 years ago, this university was established in April 2000.
And you've been there since the very inception.
Yes, in fact I was associated with the university 2 years before it was started, and very reluctantly I left Singapore to join this university because I was doing quite well in Singapore. There was no need for me to move, but the ideology of this university to serve the region by bringing young people from across all the Asian countries together, that really attracted me to leave Singapore and join this university.
Talking about the uniqueness of this particular university, unlike any other university in Japan, 50% of the students are international students.
That's right.
And is there a specific reason to why they concentrate on more international students? Is it because they want to be globally competitive and to have a multi-ethnic, multilingual environment, or?
See, until this university was started, majority of the students in Japan would be going to really the majority Japanese universities. The entire campus would be in Japanese. So when this university started, we implemented a policy that 50% of the students will be Japanese, and the other 50% will come from all over the world. So right now we have students from over 80 countries. So this has given a good blend, and the way we brought this together, until this university has started, all Japanese universities will only offer instruction only in Japanese medium. So we decided that we will offer both in Japanese and English medium.
So it has a bilingual.
Yes, and then the campus is bilingual. This is one of the few universities in Japan, probably the only university in Japan, where you can go anywhere in the campus and you can get answered in both the languages. You can speak in English and you'll get an answer in English. If you speak in Japanese, you'll get an answer in Japanese. So this has meant the students who come in from outside, they will learn all the courses in English, but they will learn the Japanese language over the 4-year period, and they become very fluent in Japanese at the end of 4 years.
Is this a strategy, because I know Japan has an aging population?
Yes.
And it has been said in the year 2050,
Yes.
the world's population will increase by
Yes.
2 million, another 2 million,
Right.
and that will be led by the Asian
Yes.
countries.
Yes.
And is this like a strategy
I
of
think
Japan to, what do you mean by, a globally minded graduate?
Okay. This is only one of the strategy of addressing aging population in Japan. But I think the greater strategy was because Japanese companies are globalizing. In fact, the Japanese economy is no more Japan based. It is regional based, more Asian based. So that way, by bringing students from outside, as well as bringing the Japanese students together, they become globally aware. Instead of being any more nationalistic and
instead of living in your own little cocoon, you have advanced yourself.
Yes, advanced, and when they graduate and leave, they can now appreciate many things that are different. And in fact, this is the only campus where they will meet students whom they have never met before, like a student from Botswana, a student from Sri Lanka. They would have heard the name, but they would have never met a Sri Lankan student before. So this is one place where Japanese students meet so many people from other countries, and the other country students also meet people from different countries, including Japanese.
What are the courses, Professor, that this university would offer the students?
Okay, we are basically a social science university, so we don't offer engineering and medicine. So in the social sciences, we have two big schools, colleges.
You are a professor of one of the colleges.
Yes, I'm a professor of the College of Asia Pacific Studies, which is a social science university, social science based, where we teach sociology based, political science, international relations, and related subjects. And then the College of International Management is, which everybody understands nowadays. It teaches various disciplines related to management. So these are the two colleges.
Tell me a little bit about the scholarships that the university does offer.
Okay. This is quite a unique experience in Japan, unique practice in Japan, because until this university was established, any student who wanted to study in Japan, either they have to come up with their own money, or they have to really wait for the Japanese government scholarships, and that they cannot really guarantee everybody who comes from outside. So our university implemented right from the beginning. We don't depend too much on the Japanese government scholarship. Of course, there are few students who get it, probably about 20 students who get Japanese government scholarships. But the rest of them, we give a tuition fee scholarship from the university. So for very good students, they can get up to 100% tuition fee waiver. So they don't pay any tuition to study in the university.
So if you're academically brilliantly doing well, you can get. Is there any other like extracurricular activities? And
of course, they take into consideration if they have been a school prefect, if they have taken part in national representation, they are good in games.
And these are specifically for Japanese students?
No, this is for international
students as well. Let's take a break. After this break, we're going to talk about more about the Japanese scholarships that are offered by the Asia Pacific University of Japan. Before the break, we were talking about the scholarships that the Asia Pacific University would offer international students, and let's see what chances the Sri Lankan students would have. What do you have to have, Professor, to qualify to get a scholarship?
Well, they should have been quite good performing students in the previous 3 years, plus their A-level results in Sri Lanka. And generally, very good students will get 100% tuition fee waiver. Sometimes they also get what we call honor scholarship, which gives them also a living allowance. Then we also have 80% tuition fee waiver, so they pay only 20% of the tuition fee. Generally, most Sri Lankan students so far have got 80% tuition fee waiver, with a few getting the full scholarship. Other students from other countries get 65% tuition fee waiver.
In the last 13 years, how many Sri Lankan students would have gone through basically their degree?
We have 105 graduates so far. And they all are fully employed in Japan and in Sri Lanka and across the world.
Okay.
Yeah. So right now we have 40 students who are studying from Sri Lanka.
And are they all on scholarships, or are they
various types of scholarship? At least almost all of them would have had 80% scholarship. But we have also signed some agreements with some of the good schools in Colombo, for instance, like Royal College, Ladies College and all this.
You seem to be very familiar with the local schools.
We have signed with about 5 schools here.
So that's straight from A-levels, so that they could...
Yes, the school and we sit together.
Does the school apply for the scholarship, or does the individual do apply?
The school can recommend, but we make the final decision. Because there might be a Sri Lankan student somewhere in Sri Lanka who may be applying, and he may not be studying in any of these schools, but he may be so good. We rather make the decision to give to the.
So you will not limit the scholarships to these particular schools?
Not necessarily.
So anybody who is willing to study in Japan, and also who's brilliantly well, who've done their A-levels well, and also extracurricular activities are being taken into consideration, can apply to APU. And how does one apply to APU? Do you just go
one regularly our own recruiting officers visit the schools and give a talk. So if there is any school in Sri Lanka which wants us to visit them and give a talk, no obligations. We will spend all the money and we come and give a talk. Otherwise, nowadays young people are very good in internet. They can just go to our type our university's name. They can go right into the internet.
So it's Asia Pacific University of
Japan.
Just Japan.
Yes, and they will have all the information. And if they can fill up a form there saying that I want more information, somebody from Japan will call them and speak to them.
Professor, you are a professor of this giant university,
yes,
which is doing great works.
Yes.
And annually you sit, right now you have 40 Sri Lankan students. We live in a borderless global village. In this global scenario, the world is evolving into a knowledge economy. What do you think is lacking in Sri Lanka as far as education is concerned? I mean, obviously you are like hands-on with what's happening. You know the local schools. You are here especially right now on a mission. So what do you think that is lacking? What is it that we need to do in order to keep up? Because you talk about a global mindset. You talk about students, graduates who are globally minded. Are we not globally minded in this country, or are we still, do we live in our own little cocoon and we think that we are superior to the rest of the world and we can manage it all?
Because I partly know the history of Sri Lanka, I would say 50 years ago Sri Lanka was more developed than Singapore. Absolutely. More developed than Japan.
Where do you think we went wrong then?
Yeah. So somewhere along the line development took a different path. And so today I think when I visit the schools here and I meet young people from Sri Lanka in my university, they are willing to work very hard. But I think somewhere this globalization has become rather one-sided. I think for very long Sri Lanka has looked to the west. It failed to look to the east. The east has been developing very rapidly in the last 50 years. Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, I mean take it, in the last 30 years they have become almost like a developed nation. Now if you go to Indonesia, and even right now Thailand, and then now Vietnam is catching up. And I think in another 10 years time Myanmar will follow suit. So almost all the Southeast Asian countries have looked east.
So whilst all these South Asian, East Asian countries are like forging ahead, what do you think is lacking with us that we haven't been able to basically kept with globalization and to?
I'm not so sure whether I'm competent to address the issues in Sri Lanka.
Now let's talk about education. I mean, I'm sure you see some differences.
Okay, I think you have to really foster a vibrant economy. Vibrant economy in the sense that everybody who goes to school or needs a job can find a job that can fulfill their basic needs of their life. I think that I don't see very much in Sri Lanka. That's one of the reasons why so many young people from Sri Lanka are really leaving for other countries to study and stay there. They don't want to come back. Of course they love the country. Even in Japan I find the majority of the students who study from Sri Lanka, they all want to stay in Japan and work simply because they feel they may not be able to get an adequate job here that will fulfill their aspirations. So that, I think the vibrant economy is very, very important. If economic development can be placed first, then I think the rest will follow. Then students who go to universities will study because they know that if they don't study in the 3 to 4 years, they won't have a job waiting for them. Others would be having the job.
So I think vibrant economic development is absolutely necessary.
Necessary, yes.
And also to basically enable the students to keep up with the economic development. Do you think our curriculums have to change with globalization? Are we catering to the needs of global employment and local employment?
Well, I think
it can be a vicious cycle actually.
Singapore is a good model to follow. They have been really reinventing the education system. You can think local, but you can think global and you can practice local. Singapore has gone very far ahead. And I don't think Sri Lanka is much different from Singapore because it's another island economy.
Absolutely.
And you have a very manageable population. You don't have a huge population like Bangladesh and other countries. So you have a manageable population. And a population that is...
And we have a very good primary education system,
yes,
a free education
and very
system.
Good social service, especially in terms of healthcare, elementary education, and education for all. So the literacy rate is the highest, I think, in South Asia, in Sri Lanka, unless you take Kerala out and say, of course, Kerala and Sri Lanka are the most developed regions in terms of education, literacy. So I think all the right conditions are there. I think commitment to economic development will bring better results, I think, for Sri Lanka.